The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Okay, why am I about to call my public servants, the White House, the main Homeland Security number, because we've called the See Something, Say Something numbers that are on the flyers they're putting out, and most of the time it doesn't even have a voicemail. It's a computer and then beeps, and you don't even know who you're calling. And these are their listed numbers. We've gotten them off their Facebook. We've got them off their flyers. So I've been forced to call the FBI, and I did this on Sunday live, and report real evidence of terrorism. Now, I'm also calling the White House first because Friday they wrote a story saying that we were liars, basically, dealing with the blackouts. And I also want to respond to that. But the definition of terrorism, the use of violence and threats to intimidate or coerce, especially for political purposes. What does the IRS do? They threaten to take your bank account, your house. There's not really any due process. What do police do all over the country when you film them legally in public places? They arrest you now. The courts keep throwing it out, but the cops don't care. They say, you can beat the rap, you can't beat the ride. You're not going to videotape us. When they shot that poor young man in the back in handcuffs in Oakland last year, they confiscated 3 cell phones, but they didn't confiscate somebody in a train who'd stopped right across from the other train and videotaped it. And that's how they lied and said he was out of handcuffs, he attacked him. Turned out it was all lies. They started roughing him up after they'd shot him in the back. They're like, get up, get up. They shot him and went through his back, bounced back up out of the concrete, back into his heart. Double tapped his heart with 1 bullet. Would that cop get like a year or something in jail? But the issue is none of us are safe. Police shouldn't want bad police to get away with this or for it to be encouraged. Or then none of us are safe as a society. Come on. We're all together in this. Black, white, Arab, Jewish, German, Chinese, Mexican, old, young. We all need freedom. It's the engine of everything good and wholesome. Now, without further ado, let's get this train rolling here. Let's go ahead and on air call the White House, and it's a public number. It's 202-456-1414. Okay, we're calling the White House. People are so shocked by me doing this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. People are like, it couldn't be real. He wouldn't dare. Well, watch me again.
The White House.
Hey, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting worldwide on AM and FM, shortwave, satellite, and XM. And I would like to talk to someone in the White House, about a news report they put out about yours truly, the Chief of Staff did on Friday, claiming that Obama policies aren't causing some of the blackouts around the country. And I'd like to report that the See Something, Say Something phone numbers that they're giving out aren't being answered or are going to voicemail with no description of who it is. Who do you think I should talk to?
Okay, and who are you with?
I am Alex Jones. With the Genesis Communications Radio Network, and I'm calling my public servants to a report that they put out, a false report about us on whitehouse.gov front page.
1 moment.
1 moment.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. We appreciate your call. If you are calling from a touch-tone phone, please press 1. If you are calling from
Go ahead and get into the voicemail. See, you go into a straight dead end trying to call the government.
If you would like to leave a comment for the president, please press 1.
Press 1.
If you are Thank you for calling the White House comment line. All comment line operators are currently assisting other callers. Please hold for the next available volunteer operator.
Volunteer.
For additional information about the White House, please visit www.
They can pay mercenaries $180,000 a year to kill women and children overseas, but they can't pay somebody to answer the phone. Okay, let's do this. I know why you guys weren't just going to number 1. You wanted to see if there was an option. I've called before. I don't think there's an option. But let's hang up on it and call back and ask if I can talk to a live person. I want to talk to a live person here on air. Don't worry, we're going to get some action when I call Homeland Security. I want to talk to the press secretary's office. No, I want to talk to the communications director, Pfeiffer. Well, that went well. Let's call them back again. I guess now when you call the White House, they just hang up on you. See how this goes here. And everywhere politicians go, everything they're doing, we should talk to them. Hello? So they got our number, huh? Dial them from another phone line. Can we do that? We're not going to be dissuaded so easily here. And you should do this. They're your servants. Your supposed tax money goes to pay for all of this. And so I'm calling them. They have attacked me. They've said I'm a liar, and I want a response. They've said our report is completely false. Oh, boy. Trying to call my public servants.
Thank you for calling the White House. Press 1 for the comment line to leave a message for the President, or visit our website at
White House.
Hey, hi, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting live worldwide right now from Austin, Texas. I would like to be able to speak to either the assistant or to the White House communications director because there was a report Friday at whitehouse.gov claiming that my report at prisonplanet.com was false, dealing with White House energy policy contributing to the blackouts.
Just a moment, sir.
Ma'am, is there an actual person? Because I've been sent to voicemail.
I'm not sure. I'd have to reach out to the office for you. One moment.
Please reach out. Thank you. We're reaching out now. Maybe Rahm Emanuel will answer.
Media Affairs.
Hey, this is Alex Jones broadcasting live worldwide. There was a report put out at whitehouse.gov last week by Mr. Pfeiffer. What is he, the communications director?
Yeah, hold on just 1 second.
In fact, guys, will you put that article back up on screen? I'm forgetting his title. But he's the... Calling the White House here live on air, ladies and gentlemen. The little proletariat slave. I wonder if they're listening to us right now while we're on hold. I got to get to calling Homeland Security and others next, so I don't know how long we can let this go on. Yeah, I can pull up the blackout story myself. We're going to see if they come to the phone here. There it is. Yeah, Dan Pfeiffer. And what's his position? It's at the bottom. You can't believe everything you read. And then you scroll down there to the bottom with that report that is a tissue. Yeah, the communications director, so I was right. So he's the communications director, and he wrote this piece, and I want to be able to talk to him or somebody else up there. I mean, you'd think the average person will say, well, you just can't call the White House and talk to somebody in a position of power. Well, I sure can. They're writing news articles about us that aren't true. So I sure do have a right to call them. I guess they're busy there in the background going to see who they can find. Or I'm probably going to be put to voicemail. Jaron, let's officially start trying to get a hold of them through channels and see if they'll come on and respond to press reports that I'm on the White House enemies list. And on top of that they're writing these disinformation pieces about us. I think that's important. All right, folks, I'm not going to let this go on too much longer here live on air. What do you want to bet she doesn't come back for a while? Anybody want to place an imaginary wager? All right. That's enough. Let's go ahead and hang up there. We got to get moving on here. Let's go ahead and see the luck we have when we call the next phone number. Now the reason I'm going to call the Department of Homeland Security is that I called the See Something, Say Something 877 number a few months ago, and they did answer, and I reported what is clear evidence of terrorism. Okay, fantastic. They're asking me when I'm ready to go ahead and dial them. And so Then I called the FBI in Dallas because that was the main number that came up in Texas. I couldn't find the number to the Austin FBI during the Super Bowl since she was saying, see something, say something. And I reported on all these instances of government-sponsored terrorism. And so now I'm going to call the Department of Homeland Security itself and ask who I should talk to from the see something, say something operation. And we should all be calling the media, too, asking why these phone numbers don't work. Let's go ahead and call the Department of Homeland Security, the main number, 202-282-8000, see if this works.
Good afternoon, Department of Homeland Security. Operator no force, can I help you?
Hey, this is Alex Jones, broadcasting worldwide on the Genesis Communications Radio Network. I've been calling Homeland Security see something, say something, published numbers, and they've just been going to voicemail, not even saying it's Homeland Security. And Big Sis has said that if we see something, we should say something immediately. And so I've got some reports of potential terrorist threats that I'd like to relay, but I don't know what numbers to call, and so I really need to get those, and my listeners need to know those numbers as well, because again, they're putting telescreens at the Walmarts saying, you know, kind of watch the other shoppers and people. So I figured if it's that serious that I better get all my listeners, you know, to I guess get signed on to report the threats. Janet Napolitano is in the news today saying that the terror threat is the most heightened since 9/11. She says we need to have that Patriot Act reauthorized. Who should I talk to there?
Well, see, here's the thing, sir. DHS here takes your concern very seriously, sir, but our partners with local law enforcement to access direct all suspicious activity to them, sir. So
through the threat fusion centers, but I have DHS see something, say something flyers that has this 877 number and other numbers. You're saying that citizens cannot report things to our loving federal government?
No, sir. I'm not saying that, sir. But it starts off with the local law enforcement, sir.
Okay. I think that's what's the phone number for the head of the rollout of the see something, say something? You know what? Can you put me in touch with the press office of Homeland Security?
Stand by, please.
Guys, get the number to the Austin Police Department. I'm going to call them. I guess that's 311.
DHS Public Affairs.
Hey, this is Alex Jones, and I'm broadcasting worldwide right now from Austin, Texas. And I've been trying to call numbers on DHS flyers for see something, say something.
Yes.
And there's not even a message. It's just a computer voice. I called it 2 months ago and was able to get somebody. It routed me to Atlanta. And then I'm being told I need to call local police. But I'm trying to report a federal matter that's going on there by the Potomac in D.C. at the Pentagon.
And you would like to report something?
Yes, I'd like to report it. And they told me I needed to call local law enforcement.
Yes, you would have to call them, and then they in turn will get in contact with the FBI. Then they will contact us.
Everything nice and compartmentalized. But, I mean, they're setting up federally run threat fusion centers. I mean, they're already getting rid of the 10th Amendment. I mean, maybe I should just call the Pentagon itself? I mean, maybe the Office of Security at the Pentagon?
They may be able to assist you.
Well, ma'am, just so you know, I mean, it's not like something I think. This is Fox News exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader died at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. And they say Anwar al-Awlaki met with the Secretary of the Army and others when he was already on the news as one of the top terrorists. And then now they say he's running the underwear attack. I'm sure you heard about that, underwear bomber?
Yes.
And they say he ran the Fort Hood attack. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I've heard about the incident.
And the Times Square event. So, I mean, how do I get the federal government to investigate itself? I mean, I think that's pretty suspicious that the #3 guy in Al-Qaeda, the #1 field operator, is hanging out secretly at the Pentagon. I mean, I think that's pretty big news from Fox News. Do you have a computer in front of you? You're in the press office. You can just search the term Al-Qaeda leader died at Pentagon.
Okay.
I mean, can you give that to somebody there? I mean, maybe Janet Napolitano can graciously, she says, see something, say something. Well, I mean, I got Newsweek reporting hijackers trained at U.S. military bases. I mean, it's right there. All these FBI agents have come out and said that they were ordered to stand down on 9/11. I want an investigation of that.
Okay. But you can contact the Office of Security at the Pentagon.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Ma'am, I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much. I mean, look, this is a normal response to this. I mean, look at the articles I want to bring up to him. I want to bring up the trillions missing from the Pentagon. Now the lawyer has sued Jesse Trinity. We're going to try to get him on soon. He's got new documents confirming FBI got warning day before OKC bombing. And how the feds tried to block it. And, of course, I've interviewed the emergency responders and others. The ATF wasn't in the building that day. They were told not to go in. But we're going to come back from break dialing hot to the APD. We probably want to call the detective's office because what's going to happen is if we call 311, it's going to be an operator. So I've had the direct numbers to detectives before. When we were getting death threats, I go ahead and file those now. When the idiots are stupid enough in Austin to call me directly here and death threat me. Cops still don't do anything. Well, one lady detective was actually pretty nice, and she did call the guy. He said he was just joking. She said, well, and she didn't offer for me to press charges. I kind of knew I could, but from now on I will press charges because it needs to be taken seriously. But, yeah, I think the APD is a good place to call. But there you go. And you notice I'm calling the government. It's not super powerful ring wraith men in black or Agent Smith from the Matrix. It's just people like us. So we're going to come back and get into that as well. We're talking to our government. We'll be right back. But we're illustrating how hard it is to report real evidence of terrorism and who's behind it. Okay, so I've been instructed by Homeland Security to call local police, even though they've got a federally run threat fusion center down here. I'm going to see if I can get routed over to the DPS command center, Little Martial Law Center, and report real issues that are taking place. Let's go ahead and dial the Austin 311. And then I'm going to request, well, of who I should talk to.
Thank you for calling Austin 311. All calls may be monitored or recorded. Please stay on the line for the next available agent. Para español, oprima el número 2 ahora. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
Okay. Here we go. Hello?
Austin 311, Tamika, may I help you?
Hey, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting worldwide live right now, and I've been trying to call Homeland Security to report evidence of where the terrorist may be, and I've been told to call the local police. I guess, can you patch me through to the Threat Fusion Center here in Austin? Or should I talk to Arte Saveda? I've interviewed him live in studio a few times. Or should I talk to detectives? Because I'm really, trying here. I've called Homeland Security numbers, and nobody even answers them. A box blows off on I-35, and they send out the robots like it's the end of the world, when a box of toilet paper blows out the back of a truck. But I'm sure finding it hard to put in a serious report here.
Okay, one moment, sir. I'm sorry to hear about that. I'll be happy to go ahead and get you transferred through. They advise you that you need to speak with the local police department?
Yes, they did.
Okay, well, let me get you transferred through, sir. You're calling from 512-386-748.
Yes.
Okay, one moment, sir. Let me go get you transferred through and think we're calling Austin 311. Please hold.
And then that tracks where we're at, so they have that information. And we're going to have to go to break here in a moment. And I'm tempted with the network just to skip the music and the break because it's the end of the official show. We'll go into overdrive. Let's just skip it, and I'll roll right through. On the rebroadcast, folks will hear this minute cut out, but we're just not going to play an outro. We're not going to, well, I guess we have to fire tones for stations. So just hold music to the last few seconds. Just run like 10 seconds of the ad so it fires for networks.
Austin Police on emergency. This is Amanda. How may I assist you?
Hey, Amanda. This is Alex Jones broadcasting live worldwide. And I've been trying to report where there's clear evidence that the terrorists are being commanded from here inside the United States. And I've called D.C., I've called Dallas, I've called the FBI, and they have directed me to call my local police department.
For what reason, I'm sorry?
I have Fox News headline, exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader dined at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. Anwar al-Awlaki, who reportedly ran the Fort Hood attack, the underwear bomber, the Times Square attack, and many other attacks, is a known U.S. government agent run out of the Pentagon. And I have mainstream news here, and I want to report that the terrorists are being run out of the Pentagon.
Okay, and how does that pertain to Austin Police?
Well, I was told by Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. just minutes ago that I had to file it with you. Are you saying I cannot file this and other reports? A new document's been released via FOIA, confirmed FBI got warning day before OKC, and the head of the anti-terror unit was actually there and lied and said he was in Dallas. I've got, man, this is serious. You think I'm going to call the police live on air with something that isn't serious?
Okay.
Are you a police officer?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I need to talk to somebody. I've called Homeland Security, I've called the FBI in Dallas, and I'm calling you. I need to report this.
Austin Police.
Pardon me?
And they tell you to call Austin Police?
Yes, they say call your local police, and then I file the report with you, and then they will file it to the Threat Fusion Center to Homeland Security.
Do you want our intelligence unit?
Sure, I would love, and I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm a little frustrated here.
Yeah, it sounds like you're frustrated.
Yes, ma'am. Hold on just one moment, ma'am.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Diamond Gusset is proud to announce the anthem of the patient.
Your call is being answered by Audix. Extension 4617 is not available. To leave a message, wait for the tone. Otherwise, for assistance, press 0.
I love it.
Record at the tone.
I'm Alex Jones, calling live, broadcasting on the air. I am very concerned. Since Sunday, I've called the FBI live on air. Because the Homeland Security See Something, Say Something phone number on their flyers goes to a voice box that doesn't tell you who it is, nothing. They're putting TV screens in 9,000 Walmarts and malls and other grocery stores saying, report on everybody, spy on your neighbors. Well, I've got real issues to report, and I've been told by Homeland Security in D.C., by the FBI in Dallas, and others that I need to call the intelligence unit, and that you need to take my report. And that when you take my report, that I will then be able to have you give that information to the local spy federalization surveillance center known as the Threat Fusion Center. Now, because we're live on air, and I don't want to give out my cell phone number on air. Sharon, just give me your producer number. We pull it up on the iPhone. I forget your number. I'm going to give you my producer's number. And I'm also giving you my number, but we're going to have to fade me down live on air right now so that I don't give that number out over air. Is that possible for me to leave them my number and then also be able to not have it go out over air for a few seconds? Jaron is bringing me the producer phone number right now. I mean, seriously, guys, I've had Arte Saveda in studio repeatedly. This is a serious report. Let me just go ahead and give you the report right now, just one of a big stack here. Fox News, October 20th, 2010. Exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader dined at Pentagon just months after 9/11. This is the guy who they say ran the Fort Hood shooter. That affects us here. The guy that ran the underwear bomber, the Times Square. And it turns out he's a government agent secretly run by the government. Okay, so I'm reporting the Pentagon created Al-Qaeda in 1979. I'm reporting that they funded him and protected him. Newsweek has also, and don't laugh at this. I want you to look it up and find out it's true. I mean, are you just going to ignore this when you pull up the fact that the hijackers were trained at U.S. military bases and the head of the Defense Language School told that to the San Jose Mercury News as well and Newsweek? Or are you just going to ignore this? Okay, I'm reporting real information here. Okay, and I'm upset about it. So I'm going to go ahead, fade me down off air for a minute. Now, I've given you my number. Okay, and I'm not just going to sit here like a jellyfish anymore when I have stacks of government documents that the government was involved in Oklahoma City, involved in 9/11, and all these places. And I'm going to continue to call state, federal, and local police departments.
You have 15 seconds to finish recording. Record at the tone.
Oh, I've got a key intelligence report for you, but I've got 15 seconds left. I wonder if I'll hear from you, but you guys already know the terror threats manufactured. It's all about enslaving us. Well, it's a sad day for America. God bless you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the transmission. I just illustrated to you, you can't get these people on the telephone, and you can't report terrorism. And the coup de grace in all of this, the thing that illustrates it better than anything, and Bob Barr's getting ready to sue over it with his Liberty Guard. They've done FOIA requests on this, and those are being ignored. They turned off all the scanners nationwide and the rape down, pat downs, the microwave machines, all of it, the microwave ovens they put us in. They turned those all off on the day before Thanksgiving, and 2 days after, when they knew people were having a nationwide protest to say, we have a Fourth Amendment, we have liberty, because they know the threat isn't real. They got to stick their hand down every old lady's pants. They've got to body scan every little kid. They got to humiliate us and interrogate us because Al-Qaeda is everywhere. As Janet Napolitano said, it's now the American people. They've made that flip from men in caves in Central Asia, from Pakistan to Afghanistan to Iraq into the Middle East to America. And they got telescreens going in, report everybody, report, call the locals. I'm calling up reporting the fact that the so-called terrorists were protected and given visas into the U.S. in 2001, just like it's now been confirmed, Detroit Free Press, State Department, that the government helped get the underwear bomber on the plane and protected him. This is admitted. And so let's use this corrupt globalist takeover against them. Use their own system, and everybody, call your local police, call your threat fusion centers, call the White House, call Homeland Security and say, listen here, servants. We know your bosses are carrying all this out to take our liberties, and we're done. We're calling you out. We know you're behind it. We know you're the ones that are doing it, and we're through with you. Stop staging stuff and going out and finding crackpot lunatics to carry out events as a pretext to take my children and everybody else's children's futures and to steal all the bank accounts dry with the offshore banks raping this country. Tired of it. I just illustrated what a fraud it all is. They help the terrorists on the planes. They fund them. They protect them. They stand down when you're going to have a protest so that you can't ever have a victory. They won't answer their telephones. It's all a fraud. It's all a fake. It's all a scam. Pray for us. We're continuing on.